The main point over here is that Cyclone Palin has crossed the coastline. It is the process has started a short while back at wind gusts of between 200 to wind speeds of 200 to 210 kilometers an hour, gusting to approximately 235 kilometers an hour. The center is around the Gopalpur area in Odisha. That is where the storm is passing through at this stage, this Cyclone Palin. It will take approximately an hour for the entire cyclone to cross the coast. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is being reported. Now, this is the important point. The next 6 hours are absolutely critical. We'll see a great deal of wind intensity and a lot of rainfall over here. After that, from being a very severe cyclone, it's going to come down to being a cyclonic storm. After that, the situation will subside somewhat. But this is by no means the beginning of the end of this particular story. This could in fact become much worse as that heavy rain continues to affect all of these areas, as that wind speed continues to remain at that 200 kilometer mark, perhaps gusting to 235 kilometers an hour. This is what will cause a great deal of damage. But fortunately, as we've been reporting throughout, upwards of 5.5 lakh people have been evacuated. So a lot of lives will have already been saved. The big question, what happens from now onwards? We will stay with the story. Time now for this short break. We'll come back with the very latest. In case you've just tuned in, Cyclone Palin has hit the Odisha coast just a little while back, approximately 9 p.m. It's crossed over, and it'll take approximately 1 hour for the entire storm to cross over into India. Let's go straight across now to my colleague Sneha, who joins us. Sneha, thanks very much for being with us. You're joining us from the Srikakulam district. Give us an idea of what's happening around you.
Well, even as you see us quite comfortably sitting here with a group of people, the reality is outside you can really hear the wind gushing. You can see the trees literally move from one side to another. It's really strong. You can't even stand outside. It's raining extremely heavily outside. The nearby villages, there's already been infilling of water in the nearby villages to where we are. We are at the central place right now, which is Palasa. We are very near to a lot of other places like Ichapuram, Kavati. These are the areas which are going to see maximum devastation, if at all, in Kalingapatnam towards the northern part of Andhra Pradesh. So we are in this sensitive zone, and things are very bad outside.
In relation to Gopalpur, where this is actually struck, how far away are you from that particular area, distance-wise?
Well, if we talk about the time duration, we might just be about 2 hours away from Gopalpur.
And but the wind speeds you're feeling in that area, the reason I'm asking is, I just want to get an idea of how extensive and how heavy these winds are in that entire area. And what you are saying is that 2 hours away from Gopalpur, 2 hours by road, you are still feeling very heavy winds where you are located. That just gives an indicator of how strong this storm is.
Exactly. This is the storm outside. The wind outside is extremely strong. In fact, when we are moving from one place to another, you literally have to hold yourself together. Not only that, it's extremely chilling also, and it's continuously heavily raining here.
Okay,
in fact,
and so
since
what's
morning
happening around you,
raining.
Sneha?
Well, people who are otherwise extremely hesitant to move into relief places, few hours back poured into the relief places. Once they saw their hamlets, their villages started filling in with water, they willingly started cooperating with the administration to get into the relief places. Otherwise, it was extremely difficult to get them into any of these relief places. Let's just ask them. आप यहाँ पे कुछ घंटे पहले आए हैं, आपके विलेज में पानी आने लग गया था?
नहीं, थोड़ा little more than not more. It touches the last 2-3 houses of the street, and the rain was very heavy, and the wind was more than 150 kilometers per hour. So at that time we started At the time 6:30 I think we came here. That's
So they all came in at 6:30. In fact, you know, very interestingly, many people came into the relief centers very, very late. They were very hesitant to come to the relief centers, thinking that it will not be a very strong cyclone, despite the authorities telling them. That was what the condition here was exactly.
Well, Sneha, we're going to come back to you in a little while from now. Let's get an idea of what's happening in Andhra Pradesh. Joining us now, Mr. Ponnala Lakshmaya, the IT Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you very much for joining us. Sir, the storm crossed over in the Gopalpur area of Odisha at about 9 o'clock. What are some of the reports that you're getting from Andhra Pradesh in those areas where there are very heavy winds?
The state of Andhra Pradesh has made all possible efforts, keeping in view of the previous experience and the severity of the cyclone that is anticipated. So it's really almost about 100,000 people have been evacuated, put in safer places, and in the possible inundated areas, people were alerted and people were convinced move out of that place. And there are something like about 52 relief camps in a 11 mandal area in the district of Srikakulam as of now, and neighboring districts like Vijayanagaram and Vizag, they were also alerted. There are almost like 35,000 people in those districts also moved to safer places.
So I'll come back to you in a moment, but basically what you're trying to say is that the situation is under control by and large. And obviously what happens in the next few hours nobody knows, but at the moment things are by and large under control.
Yeah, by and large. Yeah,
okay.
It is true.
All right. Pinaki Mishra, the senior BJD MP, joins us now as well. Mr. Mishra, what are you hearing about any initial reports coming in from those parts of Odisha which have been affected?
Well, landfall has just happened. So therefore, it's very difficult. We are all depending on your very intrepid reporters who are at ground level. Vishnu, I have to tell you, hats off to your reporters for what they're braving, right there at ground zero. We are all, obviously praying. The state government's effort has been absolutely masterly, I believe. Led by Shri Naveen Patnaik, who has worked indefatigably over the last 5 to 6 days. This has been the largest evacuation possible, possibly in the last 25-30 years.
In the last
almost
23
5 lakh
years,
people have been,
Mr. Mishra, this is
well,
the second largest
yeah.
evacuation, I believe, which has taken place in our history, but certainly the second largest in 23 years. And we are told across Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, it's at this stage, about 6 lakh people have been evacuated.
So Odisha has had a policy. This time we've carved out a policy of zero casualty. Hopefully, of course, the damage to property and chattel, etc. That's unavoidable. We will have to wait and see what the aftermath is.
Okay, Mr. Mishra, I'm interrupting you just now so that I can just go quickly across to my colleague Anchal. She's very close to Gopalpur. Anchal, give us an idea of what's happening around you.
Well, Vishnu, I can seriously barely stand now. You never since your bulletin has started, the wind is sort of twice on our speed. All the modes around there have come off. There are some, you can see I'm barely able to stand. I'm holding on to some railing now. So over the last 30 minutes, it's picked up immense speed, rain lashing on us, and the wind, of course, has picked up quite some speed now. Difficult for us to really go on speaking coherently, so to say, Vishnu. The impact right now is the strongest that at least I have felt over the last 4 or 5 hours, and we've been informing our viewers of what is happening here on ground zero. Earlier, of course, all day we've been travelling in the Ganjam district, which, as we've been informed by the authorities, could be one of the worst affected. 130,000 people have been evacuated from just here. Can you hear these sounds? I don't know whether you can, but everything around me is sort of coming apart. All the boards here have come apart. I can see the mud. Oh God.
All right, Anchal, why don't you get to
Another board has just fallen by
Anchal,
another roof.
do you want to get to a safer location?
Yeah, we just turn around and we just sort of come inside, Vishnu.
Yeah, okay, fine. Just turn the camera.
Just turn a little inwards so we can, we just ask the camera to pan.
Yeah, we are doing that. We're asking the camera to pan. It's a little better. It's okay. All right. We'll come back to Anchal in a moment. Let her get to a safer location. Let me go straight across to Tejas Mehta, who also joins us at this stage. Tejas, what's happening around you?
Well, at this point of time, most people have gone indoors. That's very clear because I did take a very short stroll about at least just 30 to 40 meters down this main road of this village called Bandarvanipetta, and there is absolutely nobody. Around 2 to 3 hours ago, Vishnu, people were still strolling, thinking this was just another cyclone. In fact, I would just like to pinpoint that when the bulletin started, we're talking about that it has really hit. Look at that tree there. It a good signal to understand, a good indicator as to how the winds have really picked up just in the last, I would say, 1 hour or so, and that absolutely coincided with the IMD's press conference when they said that it has indeed really struck the coast of Orissa itself. As far as people are concerned, most people are still in their homes, but they have pakka roofs over their heads. Those who had kacha roofs, many of them in fact have come here. They are staying here. They've had their dinner, they've had some food, and the arrangements are pretty good in fact. But the winds really picking up in fact.
Okay.